will be the increasing rate of uncontrollable fire risk. As Colin already discussed that the Phragmites, the invasive one which we are discussing here, are dead stalks and growing so tall, which get exposure of the mainly in late summer and fall, gonna catch fire, and which will really gonna have the risk of extinction of the fire burning thing. It is a large expense to manage, costing Ontario about $2.8 billion per year. Invasive center, and you're gonna see the picture on the left here that the NCC organization, which I will discuss in further, some of the organizations, one of the organizations are investing on helicopters which are taking tracks of these high feet of invasive species.
And one of the big things is for that $2.8 million, that's just for Ontario, but if you look at this map, right, so obviously you have Ontario here, and it's not super big outside of Ontario in Canada. Obviously, you got a bit in Alberta, and a bit in, Manitoba and stuff, but a lot of it is in the States. So you got California, even some of the northern states as well, a bit of Florida and stuff. So, I mean, that $2.8 million is just for one. So that's costing Canada and the US easily within excess of tens of millions a year, which this is money that I know for me, when I was doing, before I came to college, I was doing construction maintenance stuff, and Phragmites is a big thing on the highway ditches and stuff, because it stops the water from flowing off the roads properly and stuff. And that's especially prevalent in the winter when you have all the snow and ice melting constantly. Which again is just another big expense on taxpayer money.
Especially in during the springtime, when there's a lot of snow melting.
Yeah.
So now we are going to discuss about solutions. Mowing or cutting an invasive Phragmites stand is an important component of IPM plan, which is Invasive Phragmites Best Practices, page 13, 2011. The spraying of herbicides, as it is very effective with dense monocultures, in particular the leaves. Prescribed burning, which is the process of selectively burning the Phragmites. Tarping or solarization of invasive Phragmites stands has shown varied results and is not a recommended method of Phragmites control. Invasive Phragmites Best Practices, page 15, 2011. This is because it is non-selective on what species it has an impact upon. Now here's some of the organizations that are focusing on controlling Phragmites. NCC, which I already shown the picture, which was investing in helicopters for keeping the track of high feeds of Phragmites, the invasive Phragmites. Invasive Species Center, Orkin Control, and Ontario Invasive Plant Council. So these are one of those organizations which are keeping control of these invasive Phragmites. So here are the references. So this was all about the invasive Phragmites.
Yeah, and one thing I really want to, get back to quickly is the ecological impact, and it's one of those things where you're driving down the road and you don't really think about it or you really care. Who really cares that this invasive plant's growing in the ditches? And when you think about it, yeah, who does care? But when you look at the drawing I've done, and for me with my own experience, having to deal with this and how hard it is to get rid of, and how really the only there's nothing you can really do to stop it from spreading because it spreads so far. All you can really do is try and control it as much as you can. But I mean, yeah, it's just a big taxpayer expense.
And Colin, what problem you had during your co-op? Can you share your experience with us?
Oh yeah. So sometimes when I'd be driving down the road, and you know how sometimes you have here's the horizontal profile, but sometimes you have the ditch, right, and it's like this from a bird's view, and you have the storm drain here. And you know, you probably have like, you know, one of those big pipes, you know, somewhere. And the thing is when it grows up and stuff, this can cause it to like backfill and like go back to where it was if it fills up, because it can't get through into the storm drain. And also too, a lot of times these are by like areas where there's large, you know, industrialization, where you have like, you know, you have homes, you got, you know, things built up and stuff. So there's a lot of runoff that is happening. And, you know, like if you have somebody's home, you know, home over here and this fills in, you know, that's a lot of money.
And even I wanna like share some of my stories of my co-op. Like I used to treat those catch basins, and one time like there's like so many times when like these invasive species of like Phragmites, they grow on inside the catch basins, and like what we used to do, we used to treat those catch basins. But when they're like Phragmites, we can't like easily do that.
And that's everything we have for you guys today.